Ausencia de vacío. El mapa no miente. Absence of emptiness. The map does not lie. Cities around the world have their own imaginaries and identities created by the history, culture, and tradition. For visitors in Mexico City, our city is a cosmopolitan, colorful, and multicultural space. This computer art project seeks to highlight the contrast between the joyful collective imagination that art has provided us and the harsh reality of Mexico City from an iconographic perspective. To make this comparison, we use generative artificial intelligence from an original point of view. In the open data portal of the Attorney's General Office, we can download a file with the history of the investigation files that include brief information on each crime reported to the prosecutors since 2014. In this file, each event contains the type of crime, the date, time, and the geolocalization of the event. If we add this information to an interactive map, we come away with a shocking and devastating truth. There is no territory or land in Mexico City that does not contain violent events. The number of complaints allow us to reconstruct the map of the city with only this information. Each event in the database contains only a brief label of the type of crime. However, the specific situations, names, personal pains and sorrows are not known. There is nothing human that unfolds. In this project, through generative techniques, a brief fictional story about the event is constructed to give a body and a life to each situation, in addition to generating a digital painting about the event. In order to generate an emotional contrast and a feeling of aesthetic bewilderment, the paintings and images derived from the data are created in the style of the leading painters of the Mexican official art: Diego Rivera, David Alfaro Siqueiro, Rufino Tamayo, Francisco Toledo, Frida Kahlo, Manuel Fengueres, among others. The individual identity of each space and culture is also audible, and as a healing balm, the stories of the generated text are read aloud by an artificial voice coming from the Niños Gritones of the National Lottery. These children are in charge of reading the results of the lottery prizes each week, and their voices were employed to generate the synthetic voice that reads the generated text.
En la Ciudad de México, un joven llamado Carlos se despertó a las 3 a.m. y encontró que su casa había sido robada. Sin violencia ni estrés, decidió investigar y descubrió que el ladrón era un amigo en apuros económicos. Juntos decidieron reportarlo al seguro y empezaron una nueva página.
Accompanying the voices of these screaming children, the project includes a background sound of recordings of the organ grinders that are distributed through the city. These cilindreros are part of the permanent sound of the city. They came to Mexico from Germany in the last century to live up parks and squares. But today, they survive at traffic lights, fighting a sound battle between oblivion, pre-recorded music, everyday chaos, and charity. The sound material of these recordings is recombined in real time in an algorithmic way in order to generate the sound that sings the news to us. By adding all the visual, sound, and computer elements, the artists propose a way of revisiting urban violence, not from an alarmist or superficial perspective, but rather generating an aesthetic conflict between social problems, traditional pictorial values, and perhaps play and joy as a cathartic and healing process.
En la Ciudad de México, una joven artista, Sofía, desobedece las órdenes del alcalde para demolir su tienda de arte callejero en el centro histórico. Con apoyo de vecinos y activistas, organiza un bloqueo pacífico que convierte en un símbolo de resistencia contra la especulación inmobiliaria.